Hey guys, I'm Angelo from Surface to Air. This is the new 2020 North Orbit, a kite that's literally just hit the market, and I really want to run you through it, tell you a little bit about it and how you should get a test on this kite and why. So before we start, the first thing I want to tell you about the North Orbit is, here at Surface to Air Sports we offer demos on this kite, and we really cannot express enough how much that you should demo this kite. The reason being is because it is very different, it is completely new to the market, and I can talk to you about it for the next 20 minutes if I wanted to on a video and tell you how good it is, but really the proof is in the pudding. You've got to get one above your head and you've got to get out in the water and get boosting. So if you need to demo a kite, just get in contact with us on our website or give us a call in store and we can arrange to get one sent out to you. You can try it for a couple of days and then get it back. So you don't have to live local to one of our stores. You can literally live anywhere in the UK and we get it to you. Once you got it, give it a demo and then get it back to us. Super easy. So first things first, who is the North Orbit for? Okay, so the North Orbit is really a free ride boosting kite. Okay, so if you're into boosting high, or you've got a woo and you want to get an extra couple of meters or whatever it is, then definitely the Orbit is for you. It's designed around that aspect. So if you're into really mowing the lawn up and down, want to do a few tricks and boost really high, definitely for you. At the same point, like kite loops. Now, to be fair, there's a lot of kites out there that boost really high, but they kite loop terribly. The North Orbit, to be fair, is probably the first in the range that actually does both exceptionally well. Not just it does one really well and then the other one, okay, it mega loops or it kite loops pretty well. It does it exceptionally well. So definitely make sure that if you're into big air, really high boosting, or if you're into like the entry-level freestyle stuff, or you're into your kite loops, or you just want a free ride, cruise up and down, then this is definitely the kite for you. So just keep watching. The Orbit, we know it's designed for big air. Obviously, if it's designed really for big air, it's got to be taken out in strong winds. So it needs to be solid in the sky. Now, there's all sorts of kites out there, as you know. I think there's 0 struts, 1 strut, 3 strut, 5 strut, 7 strut. Okay, so this is a 5 strut kite. Now what the 5 strut kite does, it gives it a really solid frame. And what that helps with is in strong, gusty conditions. It helps keep the frame taut so it doesn't flutter a lot. A 3 strut kite in really high winds, it will start to lose its shape hugely. So 5 struts, which in turn keeps the frame really solid. So if you're out overpowered and you're going for that boost and you want to boost really high, 5 struts is what you need, definitely. So yeah, 5 strut frame in a North Orbit for 2020. Everyone's talking about this kite and everyone knows it boosts really well. I mean, it just literally won, well, the rider that rode this won the Red Bull King of the Air 2020. So you know it boosts for sure. There's proof in the pudding right there. However, why? What makes it boost so high? Why can't another 5 strut kite boost as high as the North Orbit? Well, it's simple really, it's the design. So basically what it is, 99% of kites out there have got an arc, just simply like this, okay? This has got a 2-stage arc. So basically what that means, it's got a flatter section in the middle of the kite. And what that does is it harnesses all of the power. So when you pull in on that bar, it literally opens up the wingtips, keeps the arc kind of flat here, and then harnesses all the wind into the canopy, and that gives you that huge boost lift. And you'll notice it on the way up because it's very aggressive on the way up, but super floaty on the way down. So yeah, definitely remember that when it comes to boosting. It will boost high and it will drift as well a long way. So it's like a wing on the way down. So if you're going to boost, make sure you look downwind of you first, because if you think you're going to travel 30-40 meters, double it, I can assure you, because it's got huge hang time. It boosts really well, but what is the point of having a kite that boosts 20-30 meters in the air, travels 90 meters downwind, and then it really struggles to go upwind? Well, you'll be glad to know that North Orbit fires upwind. It's absolutely unbelievable in the upwind performance. The diameter of the leading edge is really small, and that creates a lot less drag in the kite, which in turn means it penetrates the edge of the window really well. So you can sit back on your edge, sheet out, and the thing really does push upwind. So a lot less tax going upwind, which in turn means you can jump to your heart's content. Biggest wind conditions I've been out on the Orbit in the 7 metre was about 45 knots in Dakar on the testing this year. In fact, it was like 45 knots every single day. However, it never hurt my arms, and I've been kite surfing like 20 years, and I can tell you now that if you go out in strong conditions for a long period of time, you get that tennis elbow. I mean, if you're kiters, you'll know this anyway. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and you'll be familiar with it. The bar pressure is light on this kite. So I was riding 5 days solid, like 4 or 5 hours a day, testing as many of these kites in as many conditions as I could, and I didn't get tennis elbow once. And there's kites on the market that I know I can take out of my local area for an hour and a half, come off the water, just like caning my elbows. So the light pressure helps loads. Considering this is the type of kite you'll take out overpowered and in strong conditions to get that big air, you're going to need that. But there are also settings on the actual kite so you can increase the bar pressure and feel if you need to. But believe me, keeping it light, especially when you're overpowered and you want to go out boosting, light is definitely better for sure. So the bridle on the North Orbit, it's compact, and the actual line itself is a low drag line. It's a lot thinner diameter. And the reason it's like that is quite simply, once again, upwind ability is super important on this kite. So the less drag it's got, the better upwind ability. So the bridle, not only is it compact, it's got low drag lines on it, and it has 0 pulleys. So it's very, very instant on the feel. So you can drop the kite, and I do mean you can drop it like maybe 10 inches off of the water, cruising super low, hard, and every little input you put into it literally goes into the kite, and you can physically see and feel the kite just literally twitching as you just literally tap the bar just a little bit to keep it off the water. It's so much control, it's unbelievable. One of the features I love on the North Orbit, which 90% of kites have actually got now, is a fast flow system. So you can pump the kites up super quick. 90% of the pumps out there now are also fast flow systems, so it means that you can literally pump this kite up twice, maybe 3 times as quick as a normal conventional kite. But there is a lot of kites on the market like that now, but I just wanted to let you know that obviously the North Orbit definitely isn't lacking there. It has come on board, and it has got a fast inflate system, so you can pump up quick and get out in the water fast. All the power and all this control is nothing if it's not strong. The build quality has got to be exceptional, because once you take this out in 40 knots and you crash it, it's going to hurt the kite. So it needs to be strong, okay? And the Orbit is exactly that, okay? It's got Kevlar reinforcements around the struts that make it super strong, stops any stretching, especially in gusty conditions. If you hit it hard as well, obviously all the airflow in the one pump system releases itself from the leading edge into the struts to lessen the blow on the leading edge of the kite, which also helps as well. And it's got an exoskeleton frame, which again, not only super tough, but helps keep its shape. That's the key to keeping a kite in one piece. As soon as a kite stretches or loses its shape, especially on impact, that's how you get the tears. The tears come from shock. So when the kite hits hard on the water, it's a massive shock through the actual frame of the kite. So any movement there whatsoever, it goes slack and then tight and then rips. With the North Orbit, obviously with the exoskeleton framework and the Kevlar, that doesn't happen. So I'm not saying you're not going to rip it, I'm going to say you're very, very limited and you're less likely to damage it, especially if you're going out in them really strong conditions. Another thing I'd like to add is the sweet spot. Now, a lot of people talk about sweet spots on the bar when they're riding a kite. Some kites have really big sweet spots, some kites have really small sweet spots. A small sweet spot isn't ideal. And basically what a sweet spot is when you're riding and you're powered and you're sheeting in and out, the sweet spot is that area where you can sheet out and still have enough power, and you can sheet in and you also still have enough power, but you're not overpowered. That's the sweet spot. So your depower line might be this long, but your sweet spot might only be this. And you find yourself 90% of the time when riding, sitting in that sweet spot. Now, the North orbit has an absolutely huge sweet spot. And what I mean by that is basically, if you're powered up on your edge and you're like riding really, really hard and fast, and you just get that little bit of chop in front of you and it sends you off balance, you can literally sheet out half an inch even, and it will just let that little bit of power off, gain more control underneath your board again, and then off you go again. But you don't have to stop at an inch. The sweet spot is so big in the orbit, you can push it out 2 or 3 inches and you've still got amazing control of the kite. There's some kites out there that you're literally always fighting it. You're in and out of the sweet spot constantly because it's about 1.5 inches, and the kite feels like a light switch. It's like it's on or off. There's nothing in between. Whereas the orbit feels like an accelerator in a car. You want a little bit more, pull in a little bit more. You want a little bit less, push out a little bit more and sheet out. That's my personal belief for the orbit. It feels so smooth, so good. You can go out overpowered and you don't have to worry about what's going on with the kite. It just feels so comfortable. You can concentrate more on what's coming towards you, the chop, the surf, whatever it is, the swell. You can really look at that and focus on what you're doing there and forget about this system, which is amazing and builds confidence, and obviously in turn helps you to get on with your kite and enjoy it and put a smile on your face. So that's definitely a major thing I would think about when you look and when you ride this kite. Put that in your mind. Think about it. Okay, like the guy on the video told me how good the sweet spot is. Test it out for yourself and see how it goes, but I think you'll really, really love that part. The North Orbit for 2020 comes in a huge range of sizes. What size should you buy really depends on a lot of factors. I mean, the Orbit comes in size 4, 5 meters, 6 meters, 7 meters, 8 meters, 9, 10, 11 and a 12 meter, and then also a light wind 14 meter. So obviously there's a huge amount of sizes, but when you buy a kite, it depends on a number of factors. Your weight, so the rider's weight, your board and your size, so the model and the size, depending on how much rocker it's got and how wide it is and how long it is, and also the wind conditions of where you ride. So as regards to sizes, the best thing I can say is give us a call in store, drop your comments below, or get in touch with us by any means necessary. Give me that amount of information that I would need. I'll ask you those questions and then I'll push you towards the correct size for you, your conditions, where you ride, and obviously what board type you're riding. Then you can build your quiver around that size. So you know you're going to get the perfect quiver when you're all said and done. You've got your 7, 9 and 12, or you've got your 8, 10, 12. Whatever you do or don't need, we'll point you in the right direction so you get the right sizes. So I just want to leave you with this. When I was out in Dakla, a couple of the riders are out there, and obviously Nick Jacobson was out there as well. Now I asked him about this kite, in my mind thinking, yeah, this guy's going to be a bit biased. I know Nick really well, and I expected him to be super biased. But when I asked him honestly what he thought of the kite, on the quiet, he said to me, a kite that I can do mega loops on, that's the size 12 meter, he goes, is unbelievable. I don't care what kite it is, what brand it is. If I can mega loop a 12 in that particular kite, it's a winner for me. And that says it all really, because the kite really is designed to go out in really strong conditions to boost high, which obviously you have to have good conditions to mega loop. And if he's mega looping a 12, now I don't think I know many riders that have mega looped over a 10, if I'm honest. So I think that's pretty damn impressive, and it just shows you the range of the kite and how big it is. So like, for example, a 12 meter is going to cover huge wind range for a lot of riders, not just like the advanced rider that can really hold it down in them overpowered conditions, but the beginner as well. Because that sweet spot's so big, you can just sheet it out and drop all of the power. So yeah, big game changer for 2020. But like I said at the start of the video, you've got to try it. Like, one thing listening to me here, telling you all about it, but I think to get underneath it, get it in the air and go ride it, I think that's what will really put you, it will just set your mind at rest really, and you'll go for it, I promise. Stability. How stable is it in the sky? Whether it's above your head in super gusty conditions or above your head in super light wind conditions, the Orbit is crazy stable. I can't stress enough. You can have the Orbit above your head, literally at zenith, and you can run 20 meters underneath the kite. Now most kites, they will get front heavy and that Hindenburg, they fall out of the sky. This will literally just drift back with you until it's back over your head. Little bit of surge of power as it goes back there, and then it will just sit right above your head at zenith at 12 o'clock. Super stable, and that's a good way to test stability of a kite, because when you make a mistake, let's say for example you're riding along, you send the kite, you jump but you don't redirect it, that's exactly the same scenario as standing on a beach and running underneath the kite. It's a test to see how stable the kite is or isn't. So when you make that mistake, yeah, you'll drop in the water like a bit of like a tea bag, but the kite won't fall out the sky. It will drift back above your head, sit at zenith. You can look for your board, get your board back on your feet, and then board start and off you go again. So as regards to stability, exceptionally good. Relaunch is another thing that's really easy. So for example, it's really swept back. So what that means is when you drop the kite in the water and it's leading edge down, now one of two things, it can be right downwind of you. So for example, you're here, the wind's to my back and the kite's right downwind. You can launch it from that position. You don't have to edge it to the edge of the window and then launch it. You can launch it directly from downwind. You just pull on one of the outside lines, literally really gently, or even just steer the bar like quite aggressively, and the kite will lift up. When it's up into a sea like this, you just either release the line or release the turn, or sheet out, the kite will literally go up into the wind. By sheeting out, takes all the power away, so you get a little bit of a drag onto your chest, nothing major, but the kite's now up top at zenith, ready for you to get the board on and off you go again. Super easy to relaunch. I can't tell you how easy it is. Just a little pull on line, it will flip into that sea, let the line go, and she's gone. One small thing, there's a lot of confusion over North at the minute. I get a lot of people asking me questions. Is this North? Is it not North? Yes, this is 100% North sales. This is a North product. What's happened is North no longer let anyone license their products under their name. So anything you buy North now is made by North Sales. So you know you're getting the real product by North Sales, which obviously makes a massive difference when you come to buy a product and resell it. You want to make 100% sure that it's the North product, it's not some other product with a licensing of the name. Guys, so that's the end of the video. Thanks very much for watching. This was the North Orbit for 2020. I'm Angelo from Surface to Air Sports. If you're interested in demoing this kite or purchasing this kite, please give us a ring in store or check us out online. Our phone number and our website should be on the screen now. It's s2as.com. You can give us a call if you've got any questions about sizing. Like we said in the video, we're happy to help. Any comments, please add them below. We do look at them and we will answer them as well. And please remember to subscribe to our channel, because we will do more videos like this one.